My name is Andre and welcome at your guitar workshop. In today's lesson, we're going to do another Bill Withers tune. Now, the last tune I did was Ain't No Sunshine. In today's lesson, we're going to be looking at Grandma's Hands. Like Ain't No Sunshine, it really shines in its simplicity, but it's so strong and powerful. And there is another connection I have to it because he talks about his grandma's hands. It sort of reminds me directly of how I can relate to my dad's hands. So when he was still alive, I don't know, like there's so many things that you can remember about your father, but he had like these, I don't know, like they seem like special kinds of hands. He made a lot of music with those hands. So anyway, so when I heard Grandma's Hands, it sort of always reminded me of my dad's hands. So I'm going to be doing two versions today. The first version is just how he plays it in a live performance. I'm kind of guessing that it's super close to what he does on the album. But then I'm going to show you the second way to play it, and that is adding some chords that the keys player is doing in the background and some bass notes that the bass player is playing. The tablature for this, again, is on my Patreon page. For the simple version, I don't really think you would need it. Maybe you would need it for the rest of it, but we'll see. I'll leave that up to you. Let's get started on the intro. Here we go. All right, so what do? So you start off with just an E minor chord. So middle finger in second of D, pointer finger in second of A. And then for the picking, what you do is your thumb is going to be playing that low E string. Your pointer finger is going to be playing D, and my middle finger is going to be playing the G. And on that first chord, you play 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Right? So you just pluck the strings 4 times. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. However, on the second beat, you play just once, ring finger in second position of your A string, turning that E minor chord in an E sus4. So you get this: 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Now you play this E minor and E sus4 part, you play it in the intro, sort of like an ongoing, right? And it is at the start of the verse. So the first 3 bars of the verse are also E minor, E sus4. Then after those 3 bars of the verse, you go to this part. So what do? So those are 2 dominant chords. So that is B7 and A7. So the B7 is pointer finger in 7th of your E string, middle finger in 7th of D, and ring finger in 8th of your G. And you play your thumb first, so your E string, and then your pointer finger and middle finger plays D and G. So I got 1 and 2 and 3, 4, like that. Then you go to the A7 chord, and there you do the exact same thing, right? The A7 chord is your B7 chord, but then just play it a whole step down, right? So what you get is this. You get 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and then you go back to that E minor section for 2 bars. Then you go back to the B7, A7, B7, A7, B7, A7, and then back to E minor again. And that is basically the whole tune. And it's kind of incredible because when you listen to it, you wouldn't really know it, but the tune is so simple in its setup, but as I mentioned, it's just such a powerful song. So now, this is sort of where you can start to add some things. So the first thing that we're going to be looking at is adding some bass lines. Well, bass lines, just a few bass notes to sort of make some things a little bit more interesting if you would want to do that. And by the way, not necessarily that the tune needs it. So when you move towards that B7 and A7 section, what you can do is just lead up to it playing like that. So you would play fifth position of fifth position of your E string to sixth to that B7. So you get then you could play another sixth position in between going to that B7. So you get there. So those are a couple of simple things that you can add. However, in the live version, and I'm referring to the live version because I haven't listened to, for this tutorial, I haven't listened to the original. Maybe that wasn't such a smart thing to do. But anyways, but there is a key player coming in after the first verse. Actually, it's the key player and the bass player. And what is really great is that I had to translate a little bit, but these are the chords that he puts over top of what Bill Withers plays. Right? So if you play that with your open E, that already sounds really, really nice, right? So what I do there is I put my middle finger in seventh. So basically you play a D shape, just a normal first position D chord, but you play it in seventh position. Then you take a normal D minor chord, first position D minor chord, but you play it in fifth position, right? And then you move that D minor shape down a whole step, like that. So you get... And I think that's just sounds fantastic. So, but there is more going on because there also the bass player starts to add this. Right? So he's playing fifth position of E. Sorry, I'm playing an A. So he plays fifth position of E to seventh, and then fifth of A to seventh of A, right? Right? Now, it's kind of hard to do that. So what I decided to do is with that D chord, I play it with my ring finger, pinky, and middle finger. I mean D shape, right? Because it's in seventh position here. And I start playing that with open A string, so like this. Then I add my pointer finger, playing seventh position of E, like this. Then I go to this shape here, so that's that D minor shape, but play it with middle finger, ring finger, and pinky, and moved into fifth position. And then I put my pointer finger on fifth position of A, like that. Then I move that little chord down a whole step, and I play it with my pointer finger in second of D, like this. So you get this. And actually, you can play that second one, so this one, with open D string, actually. Maybe that makes more sense. Now, there is another variation in this tune that you can make, and that is on those B7 chords. So when I was listening to the key player, it sounds like there is more of sort of these things going on, and these, right? And so what I did was I just sort of barred these B7 and A7 chords. So for the B7, that would be pointer finger in seventh, right? And then middle finger in eighth of the G chord, of the G string. And then what I do is a forward roll on E, D, and G. And then with my ring finger playing top E string, right? And then doing the same for A7. Right? So you could do that the first time, and then to create a little variation, you could do kind of do the forward roll and then include the B string with it, and then with your pinky, play all the way up to 11th, which is the third of the chord. And then you do the same for A7. And then... right? So these are basically the elements that you have to the tune. Now, what you can do is basically start as simple as what the original is, but then sort of start to dress up as you sort of progress into the tune. So you get... I hope you enjoyed this lesson. If you need the tablature, it's available on my Patreon page. Make sure to check out my other Bill Withers tutorial, and don't forget to subscribe. Wishing you a great week or weekend, and hope to see you again sometime. Bye.